Hey there, welcome back. I just realized it's the end of the age, so we got a lot of stuff to do here. So technically, we're at the end of age 2. All my main map areas are not the state religion, so I didn't get it, even though I thought I would. So all these cards go away. We grab age 3 cards. I'm going to make sure they're all shuffled. So, formidable armed forces have a combined total military naval maintenance expense of 20.
Ah, yes. Yes, thank you for having
Oh my
me
gosh.
back twice in the past 5 minutes.
That I could potentially do. Have 8 allied units. That means you need to have a lot of allies. Not going to happen. Own 3 or more distant provinces. Own 3 gold provinces. That's not going to happen either. Boy, yeah, we're not going to get any points at all from these. Maybe this one if I'm lucky. But you got to wait until the end of the round. So then what it's saying is, so for example, this one and this one are gone. And see, that's an age 4. That's a 3. That's a 3. And then I'm going to flip a new one. And flip a new one. And I think I'm going to go through with my idea. I'm going to put the age 4 one over here. Just make a new deck of these. We're just going to reveal a new row. See, these are age 3. So I'm going to flip that and reveal a new row. That's an age 4. That one's age 3. Make a new row. Noble Knights wasn't chosen, so I'm going to set that aside. I'll still do the routine. If something wasn't chosen, we'll replace it. And then we'll go ahead and make our new deck. Now,
Oh my god! I cannot!
Okay, I'm back. Meltdown from League of Legends player is over. Okay, so the way I managed it is I did do my idea of adding another row. I like the idea of having a bunch of these. I mean, I guess if I was playing with other players, maybe this is a bit overwhelming because there's so much stuff you got to read. But like as I gain more and more familiarity with them, I'm okay with it. But here's the cool thing: the Tertios Janissaries light infantry replaces it, or does the same thing it does, but it cancels the effect for both sides. So if you're up against somebody who has that, you could use light infantry, and basically it's superior. But with the bots, none of this matters. It's only me that matters. This is not. Then I just set these aside because these are age 4, so we can't do those yet. All right, so continuing on, we did this, we did that. The player with the least may now replace one. We're not going to worry about that anymore because with my row thing, that's no longer a problem. If you have one marriage in play, you score one and then you're going to lose your marriage. So there's not a lot of marriages out here. So Poland's going to lose one of them, and I guess we're going to lose Bohemia because of alphabetical reasons. Although you could argue they would lose the least tax. Although technically Hungary still has a lot of tax base. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the same. So yeah, they're going to lose one marriage, but they gain a point for that. They might be the only one out here who had a marriage. I think they are. Because everybody else at one point in time either annexed or whatever. Alright, and then the last thing, which is a little time consuming, but we got to do these event cards. So this is going to be one of ours, the English Civil War. So we can rule without parliament. We would score 2, exhaust 4 manpower, gain 1 unrest in each area adjacent to the North Sea trade node. Distribute 2 more unrest and 7 among up to 2 affected areas, but you gain 2 military cubes. But that's a lot of battling just for 2 cubes and 2 points, I guess. Or I can yield to parliament, lose 2 points and 5 cubes, and disband 4 units. Holy buckets. And look at the leader. He's not that good. I hope I don't necessarily get him soon. Alright, that was the first one. There's -1, -2, Poland, -2, -1. Here's our other one, the Glorious Revolution. England gains an alliance with an NPR of matching faith. England rejects William III. May appoint a ruler from their hand. Lose 2 stability of Protestant. That's a really good leader, though. Oh, but look, it's a sick leader. That's a really interesting one. I don't like either of ours. Okay, that's an X. Another X. One. Portugal. Denmark. Venice. The Dutch Golden Age. This, I think, is Denmark's other one. Austria. Ah, look, the Spain. They now have the new Spain symbol. That's the Byzantines. That's Brandenburg. More X's. Papal States. Netherlands. This is Russia. Russia again. Turkey. Spain. Mamluks. That's Brandenburg. Austria. And Venice. Okay, so let me just make sure I didn't miss any. Netherlands, Byzantine, Ulm, Sweden, Portugal, Sweden, Portugal, Netherlands. Alright, we got them all here. This deck, of course, goes away. This is H1, H2. We need 22 cards in each one because there's 10 players and we always have 11 in each half or each round. So we need 22 in each half. So a total of 44 cards. So I'm at 14 and I'm at 11 here. I'm going to shuffle these and then we're just going to go 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And then with that being at 11, that puts us at 21. So I don't know how I had an odd number, but they don't do these event decks with the same number of events each age. So I'm one event short here. So the way I deal with that is I just grab the Ulm one, because they're pretty easy to recognize, and just whoever grabs that's going to get a cube. So I'm going to shuffle both. This is the second half. This is the first half. Whoops. And then of course I'm going to split it into, select this, put it here. There's our first 11 cards. Event 1, Acts of Trade and Navigation. Now, I just want you to know, I've played this, I'm easily on my 9th or 10th game of this. Maybe even more. We have never gone to the third age. We always either, by age 2, somebody's already won, because they got their towns already completely laid out. Or we just get bored. Or we realize we screwed up the rules so bad, or whatever. So, these are all new. So like here, you could pay 4 to research mercantilism, perform a pre-trade. Very interesting. Or right here, pay 3 to research the free trade idea, which is the... Now, somebody did point out that the rulebook says that if these are listed but they're not available, that you can grab them and it becomes a part of the... So you're supposed to have a 3x3 grid of ideas. If these are not in the 3x3 grid, that this event would allow you to add it. So then you're going to have 4 in the column instead of 3. So my idea of having them all sprout out like I do isn't actually necessary, because if you just stay patient and wait until here, you can get your third merchant by choosing option B. Now, granted, you got to take this event, because this isn't every player chooses. This is just whoever grabs this. And it's going to be a bot, likely. So there's Poland. And then Denmark has one. Well, look at that. They could do an explore action and a trade action. Or gain a core. That's not bad. Cores are hard to get if you're a player. And of course, we've seen this one before. So yeah, we're ready to start. Let's see who is actually the first player. It is Poland. So the first player marker is here. We'll move it over to Poland. I have to draw 3 cards. So let me think about this. I'm likely going to lose my 2 advisors, so I do need 2 of those. I don't necessarily need... I do have a good advisor here. And here. So I actually have my advisor replacements ready. But I still think I'm going to just draw... I'm going to at least draw one of these. The Man of the Church is an excellent one that'll let me keep the Papal Curia. We're going to do this one. Not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Do I want a military, or what do I want? I think I'm going to take... I mean, the subjugate is nice. I just don't know if I'm going to find another subjugate. The naval one is good for the exploration. There's one that lets me grow small towns into large towns. That might be nice. I just don't know. I'm going to go ahead and take another one of these. And there's that spy network one that the game tries so hard, and it just doesn't do anything for me. I'll play that as my advisor. And then keep the subjugate, I think. Okay, Poland is first. What are you doing, Poland? I'm doing what I always do. I'm going to quell unrest. We're going to defend. They do have enough troops, so they don't have to recruit. They will march in, roll 2 dice, and cheat, and win. Moscow, what will you do? I'm going to do what we always do. We're going to quell rebellions. And get a cube. Denmark, what are you going to do? We're going to do what we always do. Draw a card. Diplomacy. Okay, so they got an alliance with this Riga. And so does Moscow. They got 3 cubes. They need to have more cubes than them, which they do. And it's enough. So they're going to have to spend all 3 of their cubes. But they will annex it, and they're going to beat Moscow to the punch. So Moscow's going to just have to declare war on them. And the alliance goes away for Muscovy. Now, I apologize if I ever forget to do this, but that's 3 points for them. And there it is, 3 points. So the strong keep getting stronger. They are definitely tough. Okay, Mamluks, who are also playing tough right now. Gonna draw, oh, wrong deck. They're gonna do a military. Interesting. We're gonna roll a die. Well, actually, do they have any claims? I highly doubt it. No, they don't. So a 3 for them is Karaman, which I think is fully occupied now. No, it's not. Which one's Karaman? This one. They have an alliance with them, so they're not going to do anything there. So let's keep rolling. Then it becomes a 5, which is Tunis. And yeah, that works. Tunis, in this case, is Spain. So what they're going to do... I'm going to clone this and put it here. Come on, guys. There we go. So they got a claim. And I wasn't supposed to clone the cube. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that cube. We'll grab a little chit. Technically, cloning the claim shouldn't have happened either, but that's okay. So they got a claim against Tunis. Tunis is no longer Tunis, so actually they are here. But it's the Tunis area. So we're going to put the claim up against there, which was going to be Spain. Alright, Master Venice, who is just growing and growing and growing. It's going to try to diplomatically annex the rest of the world here. No cubes anywhere. So now we got to roll for them. The Venice bot is going to try to get Sopron. Where the heck is Sopron? This is going to be... It sounds Italian, but it doesn't at the same time. So we're going to look down here, make sure it's none of these weird little spots. Sopron. Alright, so... None of those. None of those. Well, you know what? Venice has rebels, so they're gonna take care of rebels first. But Itz is coming, and I need to know where Sopron is. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I don't know where Sopron is. I play this game all the time on the video game too, and they're the same towns. There it is. It's part of Hungary. Interesting. Alright, well, they're not going to do that action. At least not yet. Instead, they have to do a defend action, and then they're going to do a recruit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And where's their army? Yeah, their army should have been off map by now. So they will put it on map here. So they can take care of those rebels. Okay, so after Venice is the Ottomans, who actually have some peace and stability. They are going to convert for 1, and they will. They're going to convert this to that. So they will spend their 1 cube, and they will score their 2 points. Because, being negative, they are not at 60 points, you silly Ottomans. Okay, so the French have a million things to do. Their army is not on the board, so they're going to defend. They're going to spend 2 cubes to grab their army and plop their army right here. Castile. Unrest. I just realized something. It's okay. I'm not going to retcon it, but it is a new age, so all of these cards are supposed to go back in. This is so painful. So age 3, it's 4, 8, 13, 19. There's 4. There's 13. There's 8. There's 19. Okay, so the rest of these cards are supposed to be in their primary deck. So the fact that they drew this is fine, because that was one of the cards they could have drawn. Now we're going to go ahead and do France. That's why it's just painful. It just takes so long to do. Alright, so they're going to do 8, 14, 18, 22. Eight is the only thing in the deck that they're not using anymore. So there's 18. They're losing a convert. They're losing a papal curia. And they're losing unrest. Okay, the rest of these go back in. And we're going to shuffle. Alright, so now we got the Ottomans. 8, 11, 12, 14. There's 12, 14, 8, and 11. So same 4 cards are gone for them. Just the focus cards go back in. So we're good. The Venice spot. 3, 4, 12, 23. 4, 12. Three and 23. So they at least picked the card that was in their arsenal. Alright. The Mamluks. 8, 12, 14, 23. 12. 14. 8. I think 23 was the one. And 23. So the rest of these go back in. Shuffle and shuffle. Okay, Muscovy. 8, 10, 14, 18. 8. 14. 18. 10. This is not the right deck. I need to do this one. 8, 10, 14, 18. 10. 8. 14. 18. Kalmar. 6, 12, 14, 21. 14 is one of them. 6. 21. 12. 14. That's 7. There's 12. Alright, so the good news is we haven't drawn any cards that belong to them. Now we gotta do Poland. 6, 10, 11, and 12. 6, 12, 10, and 11. So it looks like they don't lose any cards they would have lost before. And let's keep going. Austria. 5, 10, 11, and 12. We're almost done. Spain and Castile. Castile 4, 8, 13, 19. Oh, I already did them. Yay! Yep, I only got 4 in that one too. Alright, we're ready. Okay. So now, we finished Venice's turn, I believe. Yes. Then, yeah, we're on Ottoman's turn. They did a convert, which I'm okay with. Yeah, and then we did France and Castile. It was it was when we were doing Castile that we realized, okay, so it's to my turn. What are we doing this round? Well, we got a lot of unrest we need to get rid of. We can spend these cubes to convert religion. So let's do exactly that. The unrest should be the top priority. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 unrest. Holy buckets. I can spend all 8 cubes if I wanted. Is that really what I want to do? I'm going to spend 6 cubes to get rid of 6 unrest. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll leave these 2 where they are, and we'll use our army to deal with anything there. Not a very exciting turn, and I burned all of our cubes. We got a lot of convert actions. It's going to cost money and these types of cubes, and then we'll do explorations. All right, Austria. They're going to defend. And this is a battle against 2. So 2 guys die. I would have had to do this. They win. And they gain a cube for that. Poland going to siege. Moscow siege. Denmark card. They're doing diplomacy. Again. I don't even know who they're going to do diplomacy with, but yeah. Roll to 1. The owner of Akershus. I think that's just Norway. Yep. So we've got to roll again. Where's our dice? Bremen. Now, Bremen should be... There it is. Alright. They're going to do 2 cubes. And a 3rd cube. And an alliance. Because they cheat. Just like that. Alright. These guys. Convert or Papal Curia. No matter what, they're spending 2 cubes.
You talked and then you joined this. No joke.
There's no converting necessary. So they're just going to score 2 points. Okay, they're done. Venice. Diplomacy. They were doing diplomacy somewhere. I know I put cubes and crap down. Oh, that's right. We were talking about Sopron. But they are not doing diplomacy. They have a lot harder life. So they're going to just defend for 1 cube. And they're moving in. They're going to fight 1, 2 units.
Existence is the cure.
So they take 2 damage.
Good question.
Alright, that's done. Coming around to the Ottomans.
What?
They will do unrest, which this is good for them. They need to get rid of their unrest.
You know what to use for the board game? My brother is playing the game. No? We should. We should get a 6-player board game. That would be amazing.
France. They will defend.
My brother doesn't play either.
They go to the largest threat. So this is a 1, this is a 2, that's a 1. So yeah, they're going to go here first and deal with 2 armies. They're going to lose 2, but they gain a cube. And I just realized I forgot to do that for Venice. And then Spain. They're rocking and rolling. They're going to do diplomacy. I don't know with who. Probably Portugal. Yeah, they have an alliance with them. They got 2 cubes. They don't have enough to annex, so they're going to do 2 more cubes. Then they're going to roll a die. And on a 4, 5, or 6, they're going to do royal marriage. So there it is. Hold on a second. My dog is demanding my attention right now. 1 second. Okay. I am back. We gotta figure out their diplomacy here. Oh no, we did. They were doing diplomacy with Portugal. So now it's our turn. So we got rid of all the unrest. We need to convert. So it's going to cost 2 plus 3 ducats. And I think I have to do this one at a time. So here's 2 and 1, 2, 3 ducats. So what we're going to do is just get as much of this out there as possible so we can reduce all the unrest that we're going to end up taking. Alright, so that is done. So yeah, our whole round is wasted doing this, but that's okay. We were honored to have a good monarch and good advisors to give us a lot of cubes. So now we go to Austria, who is going to take this one out.
Yes, that's exactly what we wanted to do.
Poland is finally out of the schneid. They're going to grab an idea because, you know, converting is not cool. 2 and 5. So 2 is here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they take one that's not been taken, so they're going to go there. Moscow. They are going to do a military. We're going to roll for claim. I rolled a 3. That's a claim 2. Claim 1.
No, I made sure everything was. You can even see the announcement stuff.
I guess that's all they have. I just rolled a 5. Moscow and Ryazan. 3. Owner of Smolenskus. That is Poland, and that is a big war. So they just declared war on Poland. That is interesting. They will spend 1 cube.
Wow. Now that is hurtful.
To do that. Poland will spend, well, first of all, yeah, they spend a cube to get up to speed, and then they're going to gain 1, 2, 3, 4, because they're always allowed to have a minimum of 5 when somebody declares war on them. And they would call any allies they have, and I don't think they have any. They don't. Well, no, they do. So there's 5 bot power here. So basically they have to give up a cube since it's defensive. And then they're going to gain 2 cubes. And done. Denmark is down to 2 cubes. 2 cubes of Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Ah, I actually get an extra cube here because I'm the papal controller, and Austria gets 2 because of their authority. I forgot to do that. And the thing that reminded me is we're coming over here. So Denmark is trying to pass. Yep, so let's roll. They rolled a 5, which means they're going to try to take their own, and it is there. So they're going to do that one. Whoops. This moves down. I was supposed to, when the Netherlands revolted, these guys got reduced by 1. It was the Netherlands revolt card. And these guys left the HRE. That was what happened. Is they revolted and left the HRE. So it's a lot of cubes, or a lot of tokens, but that's really the situation for them. Okay, getting back to this.
We gotta pick all like one province stations. We can't do like very small mining. We agree?
Actually, I'm going to try to find it. Here it is. Yeah, they lost 1. Netherlands leaves, but the Flanders one does not. Okay. They're choosing their own. They can pay a cube to perform an explore action and then a trade action, and then they gain a cube. So I'm just going to leave their cubes the way they are. We're going to do an explore action with Denmark. That's going to be interesting. They are just simply going to take Quest for the New World because they don't have that right now. And the cool thing is, well, Spain gets a point, but so do we. And then they get 2. So that's the explore action for them. Then the trade action is not going to be very eventful because they have pirates. Actually, no. that's the naval action. The trade action really is going to be a flippity. And so Indian, Ivory Coast, Black Sea, we got nothing. Only the Black Sea is going to matter. And the only people in the Black Sea is Portugal. Or, I'm sorry, Poland, out of all places.
That sucks.
Actually, hold on. These guys are all there. So Venice, Ottomans,
Yeah. If you want
the Mamluks, wherever they are,
play it.
and Poland even. Everybody's getting... So Poland is at war. And
No, I just said small.
we were sort of hoping they would get rumple-stomped a little bit. But they're getting a lot of cubes. Ottomans just got 2 cubes. The Mamluks just got 2 cubes. And Venice. Alright, all of that was Denmark's turn. So now we get here. They were going to try to pass, but they actually have more cubes now. So they're going to focus. Eco. Of course they are. Then we go to Venice. Get rid of unrest. I'm pretty sure they have it. They're not doing that. What am I smoking? I do get rid of a card, though.
I know, right?
Venice already fought these guys. But what Venice is doing is they're defending and moving into this area
Okay, so
because these rebels are in their territory.
West Africa. Europe is North Africa.
So they win. They gain a cube for that. Ottomans have a lot of cubes. They are going to do an event.
No, I would say like Anatolia is Asia. I would say that. No, Egypt
That's a 1.
like half Asia.
Alright, so they're taking the one that we were thinking of doing. Oh, actually, no, they're fine. They gain a cube. So I'm going to move this over.
And
Move
the
these
Black
guys
Sea,
down.
Black Sea, Black Sea. No,
Okay.
and Anatolia.
They always choose A, so they're going to pay 4 to get mercantilism and perform a free trade action. No other players get income from this trade action, but all merchants in the selected node get activated. And they can put a casus belli on them. Yeah, it's no big deal. So they will pay 4 cubes.
They don't even have good ideas. Why would you do that?
And they're going to take... I don't know if it's out here. Oh, there it is. So they get 2 points.
Why am I like?
You know what? I'm going to put them here now. Since everybody else is over here. And then France gets 1. And I never read this. When you collect trade income from a trade node on a distant continent, no ship is required to trace a connection to your capital. Though any non-hostile distant sea zone that is faced by one or more of your ports. Oh, that's pretty cool. So I don't need to have a line of ships going all the way to the East Indies. I can just move my ship to the East Indies and call it a day if I had this. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was the Ottomans. Oh, they get to do a trade action. Hold on. North America, South America. Good luck there.
It's okay. I think
You're not getting anything. What they could do is choose to exhaust mine, I guess. That's fine. France is busy being France. 2 cubes. Spain is down to 3 cubes. So they're going to try to do their event. They're going to choose an opponent. And that just so happens to be here. So they're going to choose the Polish one. We got to put out a pirate from the previous event. Alright, let's do that first. One, two, three, four. Then for this one, they're going to choose B. Poland is going to lose 2 stability, 8 ducats, and 2 points. So they lose a cube. They're going to gain 2 rest and 2 points. Boy, they got a lot of unrest.
No, I'm gonna go like Prussia.
One. This shouldn't even be out here.
That means I
How long
can't
have I been
stand.
collecting extra income or whatever for them? 1, 2. Unrest. And they're going to lose 2 points. Okay, that was Spain. Now it's to us. We're going to keep going, just like we did before. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 ducats, and so we got the religion spread everywhere except for one spot so far. We even have it here. We don't have it there, but we're just... and there is no religion out here, so you don't have to worry about the distant world. But we're rocking it. Austria is going to defend. Move 1, 2. Go to war. They're going to lose their unit. Gain a cube. They're ready. Poland is at war, but no one's in their area. They're gonna draw a cube, place a ship, which is crazy. Their ship is gonna go here, and they do a naval action. So we get to do it. So Poland's gonna get 2 points. And we could do English Channel. So we have London. We're going to get 6. We're going to get 14 ducats. Genoa is going to be France.
You know what?
And Spain.
I don't play it that much. Nathan, how do I do the thing? that I form in
They could do Genoa as well. So Mamluks will go again.
Okay.
Who else? Alexandria, which would also have been the Mamluks, so they were covered no matter what. But Alexandria will be Poland, amazingly, Venice, and the Ottomans. So everybody but Moscow and Denmark pretty much gained from this.
Yeah,
Actually, no, Denmark gained because of the English Channel.
Well, no, it's good for like Bond.
So their guy actually moved to here. Moscow's the only one that didn't get anything. Venice gets 2. Ottomans get 2. That's crazy. Alright, that was all because of Poland's turn.
Goods produced with black relations.
Muscovy,
2% fire damage received.
he's gonna do an event. They declare war. They're like, oh, da di da, la di da.
Insane.
So,
Insane.
event time.
Alright.
Roll. 3 means they're gonna take the rightmost, which is theirs, I believe.
Well, I'm not gonna do that.
So lots of money on some of these. Okay. So they're going to choose A. They're going to gain 2 cubes, add unrest to 4 Muscovite Russian towns in Crimea, Saratov, or East Ukraine, and place 4 in 1 affected area. Alright, so they do gain 2 cubes out of the deal, which is good for them.
Yeah.
They don't have Crimea, they do have Saratov and Eastern Ukraine, so they got 1. They already have unrest, and basically what they're saying is 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to pop up there. So at minimum they're going to be defending next turn. Denmark. They have less cubes, so they're going to try to pass, and they will.
South Africa has been more issue.
Gain 2 cubes. They still have more cubes. I'm going to grab an idea.
It probably
4,
depends
3.
How, like, developed you are, and how good of tech, and yada yada yada.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. But they try to take something that hasn't been taken, so they're going to take trade companies.
Yeah, but you're sort of gonna need to do that. You're gonna
Venice?
need to do that.
They have a crap ton of cubes all of a sudden. They beat out all the rebels, so now they're finally going to draw that dang diplomacy card we keep talking about.
No, well, yes and no.
Alright, so they drew Sapporo last time, and we finally figured out where that was. It's here. So they're going to gain 2. They don't have majority, so they don't get an alliance. See, the reason they get an alliance right away is if they had the majority cubes, they automatically get an alliance. But here, the cubes are tied. So I think there was a place here where I made an alliance with Moscow, and that was a mistake on my part.
Like natural resources.
Because Denmark already had 2 cubes there.
Just gotta fail them.
So now we go to the Ottomans. Unrest. Yep, they do need to do it. There's a flippity and a flippity. France. They're going to defend. Move there. Do a battle. Lose a troop. But gain a cube. Castile. Gonna do another action. They're going to convert. They're not doing Papal Curia. What are they going to convert, though? They are counter-reform, so they want to put that somewhere. They're going to put it down here. That's a high tax area for them. They also got to do this one there. They do get 2 points for that. My turn. I'm going to keep doing what we were doing. Spend 2 cubes. Spend 3 ducats. And so now we got our primary areas are stable again. This is 12 ducats worth of loans. So we're going to lose 10, 11, 12
Wait, can I do a...
because we had plenty of money.
That's Portugal?
Then we go to Austria.
Could I actually
They
do
will
that?
siege. Then we go to Poland.
Well, then what'd I do?
Unrest. They have plenty to remove here. Muscovy.
I actually like Norwegian because,
Gonna defend.
yeah, they do.
They're up against 4.
This is fun.
One.
Why?
They passed. They're going to pass. Gotta do an event first. Their own is not there, so they're gonna take this one.
I can
That gets them
go Sweden, actually.
1 cube.
It's not that strong. Even if it owns all Sweden. And Vicky. No. Not strong. Period.
Pick an independent realm with a marriage. Flip it. There's only 2 marriages. It's Poland
Yeah.
and Spain. So let's figure out which one they're going to choose. They're going to choose the one with the highest points, so it's going to be Spain. So their marriage flips.
Or I guess I could do this. Can I just
Take
do
a free
two
declare
plus?
war
Yeah,
action,
we can
targeting
do
only that realm. Gain 2 cubes
two.
if it's adjacent. So,
Doesn't go
this is so silly. They got screwed on this
I
again.
sort of want to go to America with you.
So yeah, they declare war on somebody, on Portugal, who then calls on their alliance. So now they're at war with Spain.
Why?
Now that part has gotten interesting, because they are right next to each other.
No.
They
It doesn't
technically
work, though, because
pay a cube
it's the nation and they actually
to army up. Their army is blocking the way, at least.
Or Australia. I guess
It's a really bizarre situation, but that's what they chose to do.
I'm just gonna do two of these. Or Sweden.
Then attrition happens.
I guess
So for them, they're going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to lose 3. Moscow, 1, 1, and 1. Poland, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1.
Flip, do you want to take Sweden?
Alright, and then blue and orange happen. So blue goes there.
Yeah, Flip, play Sweden. I can help you while I play Norway, if you want to do that.
I don't know why there's 2 of them here, but orange is going to go there.
Yeah, do that.
Okay, pluses. I think this is bad for me. Plus, plus, plus. So this guy dies. I need to zoom out more. This guy dies.
And then the steps.
Elizabeth. It's not Victoria, it's Elizabeth. I apologize. Alright, so all of that was whose turn again?
Well, no. You can.
That was the Mamluks. Holy cow.
You just have
Alright,
colonies there.
Venice is going to try to pass.
Yeah, then do that. Do that.
They're going to grab an event now. 5 means their own, which is on here. So
Yeah, that's right.
money is going to go to the other places.
Do Molly though. I mean, Nathan, you could do the Irish Murder.
Sorry, I was just reading some of those events. So they chose their own. They get a sickness in Lombardy and Venetia. Half of all units in the areas affected. Half tax income.
Okay with that.
So they're going to lose 3 cubes. My goodness. That
Well,
is
I have to make it though.
not good for them. So 3 cubes are gone. They lose half their
You're gonna
units
get that.
in Venice and Lombardy.
Yeah.
So they're okay because they're in Central. They're not in Lombardy. They get half tax, but they don't
Okay.
really
so
gain
Nathan,
tax anyways, so
There's
there's really
half
nothing
for
that happens. It's sort of lame.
Get 12.
Okay,
So you're gonna get
the
that.
Ottomans
You're gonna suck it.
are going to do naval, which that's interesting. So they're going to reestablish themselves in the Black Sea. And the interesting part is another trade action. And look at that, North America.
Nathan, you don't
We
want
don't
to-
have any of those.
I'm gonna give you Muslim.
However, I have
Or do you
at
want
least
to-
3 to 5. I have a merchant and 3 ships.
Really weird.
So that's 4. So that gets me 5 ducats. And that's 2 points for the Ottomans. And given their current score, I'm more than happy to do that every round for them. Alexandria, Novgorod, and then like the alternates. I'm assuming that the bots can use any of these.
I'm not gonna give you anything bad.
So this is just getting crazy. So Alexandria and Adriatic Sea. So they're getting 2. Venice is getting 2. Mamluks are getting 2. Even Poland gets 2. Novgorod is going to mean Russia gets 2. Or the Baltic Sea means that Denmark's going to get 2.
Alright, there you go, Nathan.
Yep. So who hasn't? Austria. Spain. Well, look, Spain makes it to here, but not to... No, they make it to Alexandria. So Spain gets 2.
No, you have to block.
France doesn't get 2.
Well, no.
Alright, that was the
no.
Ottomans' turn.
You don't have to take over.
France.
Please, West Africa. You have to do that. Have to. Yeah. Because you're not going to be a nation unless you otherwise.
They're going to try to pass.
Trust me, Flip. When you get into Vicky, you're going to be hurt.
But they still have invaders, so they're going to do a defend. Actually, they got invaders in several places, so they're going to go here. Lose an army, but they gain a cube. Spain
Okay?
is going to try to pass,
Then don't. But, like, you got to do something.
and they do. I'm going to gain 2 cubes. It's back to us. Right, we got the whole mainland. There's only one area, and that's here. I'm almost not even caring about Aquitaine anymore. I could do it, but I actually want to do something else. I think it would be nice to get the trade companies thing, because then I don't have to keep my ships in a line. So like right now I don't have ships here, so I can't trade. Even if I wanted to trade it here, I don't have a line going back. So there's some value there. I also have more than 5 cards, so I would need to... Oh, never mind. I'm going to play this one for 2, but I'm going to wait until I pass to do all that. This card is going down, and so is this one. Yeah, I'll be less than 5, so I don't have to worry about playing cards. I'm thinking of maybe doing an explore action. It would be nice to... Oh, I was supposed to complete this a long time ago. Church of England, because we're counter-reformed. I'm going to gain 3 points. Maximum one of your areas does not have state religion. So there is just one area that does not have our state religion. So I get this. Actually, I just got it now. I gain 3 cubes in any areas of the same faith as me. Technically, I wanted to put cubes here, but I don't get to pull that off. I could try to get Sweden to come my way, but they're not Protestant there, or they're not Reformed. So who do I want to have ally with me? That's the question. They need to be Reformed, and none of these really are. Unless I want to go really far away. I can put him here, because then I'm at least influencing Burgundy. And I don't know how I missed it, but there's a Burgundian succession where France was supposed to absorb these. But maybe somebody picked B. And that's why it didn't happen. But France is supposed to get these. Like, it's almost a guarantee. But yeah, I can maybe influence Burgundy. Try to get them to join me. That's all it does. It's not that exciting. But that was just completing my mission. The biggest thing there was the 3 points, of course. So here, Southeastern Atlantic, East African Coast, East Indies, or Great Australian Bight. So Southwestern Atlantic would be to go down here, which I'm not. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Southeastern Atlantic is this. I have claims, but I don't have the ability to move an army down here to take any of those. East African Coast is the other side. I think the East Indies is more my thing. Like, I would like to go here, because look, you got all kinds of places you can explore. And then the Great Australian one is also pretty good. So, what's the gist of this? I need 4 towns. I need to own or vassalize Bengal, Deccan, Coromandel. So I need to have like very specific towns. That's a lot harder. But that also is 6 points. But look at this. I get to research trade companies. So that's that's hard to pull off. I'd almost rather just research trade companies now. That would be 5 of my cubes.
Okay, I think I need to reload this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Although I do have I can study technology. Target an opponent adjacent to your realm and research one of their ideas at the cost of just 1. So who has it?
I'll get back in really easy.
Trade Companies is owned by Mamluks. I am nowhere near. They're not adjacent. The only one I can target is France. I guess I can target Castile as well. So let's say I wanted to do that. What would I even take? Tolerance is not a bad idea. It lets you reroll rebel dice. That's what I would end up taking is just tolerance. Alright, it's not a priority at the moment. So, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All going in. And I'm going to take... Oh, I don't have any shits left. I am going to take Trade Companies alongside the Mamelukes, who will score a point off of me for that. And then do I get any free bonuses? I don't think I do. It just means I can trade without having to have a line of ships back to my area. That's powerful. I think that's very powerful. Okay. Austria finally did everything they're supposed to do. 3, 6. They're going to try to pass. A 3 means they're taking this, which is their own. And this is ours. Oh my gosh.
Nathan, do you have a hot runner?
Alright, well, let's do theirs. Austria, if Catholic, gains 2 alliances with Catholic NPRs in the HRE.
Okay, it already seems to...
Man, this is so painful. I mean, they'll get an alliance with Saxony, it looks like. They already have alliance with them. We'll do Westphalia. So Saxony would be this one. You know what? Since they saved them so many times, they should do an alliance with Brandenburg. They got good tax base as well. Okay, so let's keep going. The Emperor gains 1 for every elector area which is Protestant and a claim in one of those areas. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're gaining 4 cubes. And then they gain a claim. In Bohemia. In Lower Saxony.
Oh, yeah.
Switzerland. And Bavaria.
I'm thinking of just getting rid of my court. And my heavy ships.
Okay. It was an interesting turn for them. They got a lot of cubes, I guess. Poland.
What? No. Why would I?
They're at war. So they get to keep going. So they finally drew it. They're going to convert.
No, I just released them.
They get 2 points. They're going to spread their counter-reform.
I'm not going to do it that well, but I know that it's possible, so...
They want to go somewhere where they have the most tax base. That's as good as any. Oh, I apologize. They would do it over here. I gave them their 2 points. Unrest.
There's
These shouldn't be here.
5K
then here,
The Ottomans are gonna go crazy, aren't
they passed, didn't they?
they? Because they're the Ottomans.
Yeah, they passed. The Mamluks are passing. Yep, they passed for one. Venice. Gonna keep going. They're gonna do a military. That's not smart, Venice. I don't think they have any claims anywhere.
But Mark, are you gonna help Sweden? Sweden's gonna get food.
So Ragusa. Okay, they're declaring war on Ragusa. So I'm not going to mess with this too much. They're going to just march right in. They do spend a cube to recruit. And Ragusa has it's just a one province wonder. Nothing happens. They gain a cube for it. And then just because I know I'm going to forget, I need to remind myself they got a siege after this. Okay. The Ottomans. I'm going to do another card. They're doing military. Alright, they have a claim everywhere, so rolling the dice should trigger something. Claim 5. Here's 3. 7. There's claim 5. Oh, Nelly. They're declaring war on Poland. So Poland has more than 5 cubes, so they're fine. They're going to spend. They're going to army up. Poland gets to spend one to recruit again. That's just what happens when somebody declares war on them. I don't think they have any alliances. They do. Bohemia is already allied with them, but they will take away a cube. And they get 2 more. So Poland has a lot of cubes now. France is this guy's done. They're going to defend. And now they're moving into this area. That was not what I meant to roll. They lose another army. Castile all of a sudden has a bunch. That's because they passed. Alright, so now it's back to our turn. Holy crap, what are we going to do? I haven't even thought about this. We want to explore. That's what we want to do. Actually, I'm going to spend a cube. I'm going to move my navies into the port. So the way you do that is you just take it off the map. And then that's going to allow me to repair these. The repair doesn't happen until between the round, but I'm doing it now.
Actually, yeah, I do.
Okay, Austria. They passed. No, they did not. How did they get all these cubes? Oh, their event. And you know what? We have an event. I didn't even think about that. We should have taken our event. Although, our event looks nasty. Yeah, it is. We could possibly get by where nobody selects our event, and then we don't have to do anything that's written on it. And that's it. We'll see if that happens, I guess. Austria. What are you doing, Austria? I guess you're going to go. So they're going to do a naval. They have no ports.
I think I'm just gonna make them free.
So, or no, they gained their port town back. They did.
Colonize one.
Yay, they're back in business. And then they're going to do a trade. Adriatic Sea. Holy crap.
No,
Adriatic Sea gives them 2 cubes.
I'm gonna go play the colony.
Adriatic
Why
Sea
do I want Norwegian ideas?
gives Venice 2.
No, I was talking about the colony.
Mamluks, Castile. Boy, these trades are coming out a lot right now.
The colonial types, like the South government.
They're just going to take one from there.
Yeah, you are. But you're also right next to Brazil, so you get a colonist.
Okay, Adriatic's done. Vienna
So
is just themselves.
trade off.
And then the Black Sea means the Ottomans and Poland are going to get something too. And we got nothing. Poland has 1,000,000 cubes. Alright, now it's Poland's turn.
He got 0 mil, just to put it in perspective.
They're going to convert. This is insane. They've been needing these cards forever. So they're going to convert this one.
There's a lot of people that can give up that.
So much stability all of a sudden for them. Muscovy. They're going to war. Or doing a military action. So, they did lose troops. And they're going up against somebody who has a lot of troops. So they are spending 2 cubes to recruit.
There's Renaissance. Crap.
And their army is on the board. So they attack where their army is. Arguably, you would think they would go after the highest tax revenue. So the target's an opponent. Select enemy realm with the greatest strength. They are on the board.
Norway actually has cool missions.
Move enemy to engage an area. Largest enemy force, which is less than own army. Then area with own towns. Is what they're going to choose. So the force for Poland is larger than their force. So they're going to avoid them.
Holy cow!
So yeah, actually they are going to go to Crimea.
Cool.
Yeah, because that's got a good tax base for them. They're going to choose...
Target of restoration of union costs is spelling out Denmark.
Alright,
Gain 4 years worth of trade income.
they passed. I don't think these guys have passed yet.
Imagine I clicked that when I was making $1 million.
Maybe they did. I can't remember. They have. Oh, Castile also passed. I hope I didn't just do an action with them. I don't think I did. So they're both passed. Venice is up. I think they're going to pass unless they're at war. Oh, they are at war. That's right. So their town comes out. And because I'm forgetting that they're at war and all that stuff, first of all, they spend a cube to siege. I'm going to give them... I mean, the claim actually is supposed to stay. This is horrible. But I got to put a claim there. It's too much junk next to each other. Too much stuff on the board. But anyways, they got a claim. And I'm going to give them the 1 point. Now, we're going to resolve their peace resolution already. Because I know I'm going to forget them. Okay, the Ottomans are next. They're at war. So now they get a convert card. There's nothing they can convert. So then they're going to focus war. They're going to get 2 cubes. And grab something in politics instead. Well, they're the first one. Oh, look at them. They are no longer negative. 1, 2, 5. They're just 2 points behind Austria now. And they did gain cubes. France gonna siege. Spain already passed. And amazingly enough, it's our turn. Alright, so we know that there's going to be unrest in all the areas next to the North Sea. So that means here, here, and here. And then there's going to be rebellion soldiers and all that stuff too. So I only have 1 cube left. I can use it to recruit, for sure. It does say I have to exhaust manpower. You know what? I think I'm just going to do... We're just going to do an explore action. We're going to move this to the 3rd spot. Do an explore. And what I'm going to do is take this guy. And so he has to move here for 1 and here for 2. And the problem with this, of course, is now I have to explore here. And I'll go ahead and do it. So I rolled something. It doesn't match anything there. So then I get to put this on one of these spots and basically claim it as my own. And this Coromandel is one of the ones I know that was on my mission, so I'll put it there. So I'm probably going to be at war with Portugal sometime soon. And these guys could not have passed. My apologies. They're at war. They're at war. They can't pass. So I gotta do their action. Of course, they're just gonna spy. But they're at war with Portugal and Castile, so they're gonna take.
Should I even get?
They're gonna flip 2. Alright, we're cut back up. So I just did an explore.
No, I don't. No,
I'm good. Austria has a million things they could do.
I can get.
They're doing a military. What are they gonna do now? Well, they got a lot of claims on the board, so let's roll. It's a 2. And look at all these battlegrounds are out here. So let's look for their claims first.
Oh,
Claim 4,
I get more than I would get if
Claim
I got
2
7.
is Hungary.
32.8.
Alright, well they're declaring war on Hungary.
No.
So spending a cube. Hungary is not allied with anybody, so yeah, that's what they did. And they can't move in, so what they do is they put themselves as close as they can, which is here. Alright, Poland. Another convert. Holy cow. They definitely need this, but it's not coming at the right time. So what's interesting is that's flipping, which means they are now counter-reformed, but that's the way it... Well, hold on. They are counter-reformed. Okay, they can do that. So this is a vassal of them, and it's... Yep, that works. Okay, Moscow. They're down to 2 cubes. No, I apologize. Poland is not doing that.
Yeah, that's nope. That's nope gonna happen.
Poland can't do that. Here's why. They're under attack. They still are going to spend the 1 cube, but they're going to move here.
I'm getting the troops ready.
And yeah, we got a big battle going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Poland. I need to check. None of them have any military techs to help them.
Then do it.
So this is Russia. This is Poland. 1, 2, 3 against Russia. 1 for Poland. Two against Russia. 3 against Poland. Three against Poland, 3 against Russia. Three against Poland.
I looked at Icelandic ideas.
And 3 against Russia.
Not that good. There are a lot of ships.
Alright, so Russia got wiped out.
Shipbuilding cost. Well, shipbuilding time, actually.
And they got a
They have
cube.
discipline, they have dead.
And yeah, Russia's down to less than 2
It's not
cubes.
that good, you know.
So they're going to try to pass. And they do for 1 cube. They passed. They are at war. And of course they're going to do a diplomacy while they're at war.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
Alright, who are they going to... They're going to try to get these guys. These guys are at 2 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Why?
12, 13.
Bet. I don't want to be Texas.
5, 10, 13. They need to pull a cube from somewhere. I guess from here?
Oh, that's beautiful.
So bizarre. They still don't have enough. I mean, they do if they drew another card, but... how about Venice? I believe they're passing. No, they're at war. Convert. I don't know if they can convert anywhere. Oh, they got they're counter reform now, so yeah, they got a lot of conversions to do.
But their armies.
This is definitely one. So they get 2 points for that.
So good.
That costs them a cube.
They get plus 15% movement speed. My troops just gonna be
The Ottomans are at war. They're doing a naval. Like, these guys just like... Oh, there is one thing. The Ottomans are at war with Poland. So there's battles that are happening all over the place here. So let's start here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Polish ports. And then 1, and this is a large port, so that counts as 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 ports to 4 in this area. So let's figure out the math. Who has Diplo ideas? That would be in the middle. The Ottomans have 1. Poland has 0. So Poland gets 1 plus 1 for every adjacent ship. So that's 2. And they get a hit for every 2. So they're going to get 2 hits there for 4. But they're just going to roll 2 dice. So they got 2 hits, Poland did. Now the Ottomans are going to roll 2 dice because they have a Diplo. And then 1 for an adjacent. And then they're going to get 2. So they're going to get to roll 3. They also get 2 hits, and that's the difference maker. So Poland loses their ship. And then the other goofy thing is because they declared war, they actually got a cube because they won that battle. Then it's going to happen again here, except this time Poland gets no bonuses, so they don't stand a chance. Just the ports alone sinks them. Alright, so the whole reason I said that was because they're doing a naval action. And that reminded me, they have ships. So they're going to put themselves out here. There's no pirates, so we're going to draw 1. I don't own any of those provinces. So nobody does. Nobody gets anything. France is going to try to pass. There's only 2 of us that need to roll here. 5 means they're going to try to take their own. And their own is not there, so they're going to take this one. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. France gets 2 cubes for this. Okay. They choose A. Add a Protestant token. 3 unrest. 3 whatever, and unrest to all towns in Bohemia. You gain 1 in an alliance with somebody with the same faith as you. Alright, so they gain 1. They're going to gain an alliance with somebody in here. It's hard to even say who that would be. We're going to go ahead and go with Bavaria. There are no towns in Bohemia, so nothing really happens there. They just get a cube. Attrition happens, so let's do that now. Ottomans are at war.
Oh, who got it? Brunswick.
I'm just going around. Who's at war? Austria, are you at war? No. I don't believe you are. But you are. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Out, out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, done. And rebel dice. Phew. Ottomans are okay. Mamluks have 1. They lose a cube. Venice. Venice has at least 1. 2. They lose a cube. Denmark has a crap ton. 1, 2, 3. Yep, they have at least 5. They lose a cube. Moscow, 1, 2. They lose a cube.
Why do I have a fort? Where do I have a fort?
Poland, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They lose a cube. They get a revolt on one of these. Austria, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They lose a cube, have a revolt, and recover one. So they'll recover this one. The revolt, though, I think will go here. And that'll result in a battle. Nothing happens. Spain. Gonna roll 2. Actually, they roll 3. They lose a cube and have a revolt. The crazy part is the revolt's gonna be up here. France. It's just 3. They lose a cube. And then us. We have 2. I'll lose one of these cubes. My gosh, whose turn was that? Nonsense. Royal Letter of Bohemia. That was... I believe that was France. Yes, it was. Spain has already passed. Now we get to us. There is only one other person rolling. And this one will be taken if they roll a 3 or a 4. Otherwise, they're taking these. And it's possible we don't have to resolve this card at all, because whatever one of these they take, I would take the other one. That's insanely good for me. And look at this, we gotta roll rebel dice again. I do like this one. Like, if I were to take one, I would take this one over that one. Thing is, if I take it, I increase the chances of the other guy rolling for mine. So that means I gotta stay alive and keep taking actions. So let's do another explore action. So that means I finish this card. So I'm going to take this guy out of India, and I'm going to move it to the East Indies. Should I go after Australia, or should I stop here? I mean, I could move here. I could even move up to China and Japan, but... You know what? I'm going to stop here. Let's roll our die. A 1 is excellent. So 1 for us is any of these places. So I'm going to do the Moluccas. Yeah. And now we're back in the business of getting colonists. Okay. I keep forgetting I can excommunicate France, but it's alright. And I don't know how Castile passed. They were at war. They should not have passed so early. Ah, come on. I really screwed up there. So I know I skipped over them at least twice. So that means Moscow would have gotten an extra cube. Let's do at least 2 actions with them. A naval action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is already out. There's no... Oh, they got a pirate. They gain a cube for defeating the pirate. Convert. It's like all these people are at war and doing nothing about it. That's 2 more points for them. I'm going to do 1 more. Six, 4. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to take line infantry. Holy buckets, they have 60 points. Okay, Spain is a juggernaut. Our turn is over. We did the explorer. Austria. They are not at war with anybody. They don't have enough cubes.
Oh
They are passing.
no. No. Sweden, please.
They're gaining 1.
Sweden, I don't want to be here. No.
Nope.
I come back and I'm
That's
dying.
not what's happening. They are at war. I didn't put it out here. They're at war with
People look
with
at
them.
me. Sweden broke independence, and Muscovy, England, Scotland, everyone is in. And I.
All right,
It's
so
okay. I've been
they're gonna draw a
they
card.
can't touch me here.
And they drew the military, which is the one they needed. They draw it when they need it.
This is my no.
So they're gonna
No
move
one can touch me here.
technically just 1 space because this is a vassal belonging to them. So they will fight 1 because of these 2. 2.
Well, I'm losing so much money, guys.
3,
Help.
4.
Help. Help. My entire nation is sieged down. I need help.
Okay. Poland. Converting again. Oh, I'm sorry. They're not converting again.
Not L Texas.
I had to change.
I'm losing 8 ducats a month right now.
I think I paid the cube. They have so many.
Don't go there.
These guys passed.
Don't go to Iceland.
These guys passed.
Bad ships.
These guys are going to pass. They're at war, but they didn't do anything.
Oh yeah.
Yep, so they pass for 1 cube. Venice is not... Well, they are at war. Convert or focus? I'm pretty sure they couldn't convert. So they're focusing. The Ottomans are at war.
Please
They're doing a military action.
Please, I don't want to be fully siege. I thought we were friends.
Alright, they will spend 2 cubes to recruit. Their army is on the board, and they will move 1.
Please, Swede.
See, they're too large. But that's okay. They're just going to go here instead. And be attacked later. But still, that's what they would do. France is ready to pass. Yes, they will pass. And get a cube.
Please.
Castile is now ready to pass. And they do.
Denmark, accept a peace deal.
And then
Everything is siege.
I'm no longer able to
Please.
just explore for trade. I could do a trade action.
Denmark, stop.
And
Your entire nation is siege. Please.
because I went in all the zones, all the cards are in now.
Make it so they don't ever want to come back.
Alright, I just shuffled that 4 or 5 times.
Good England, go.
I don't want to do an event yet, so I'm going to spend a cube. Let's do a trade action.
Come on, Swede. 95.
Ivory Coast. See right there, Indian Ocean. That works for me. Now, I would do North America, but my North America was exhausted by that event or whatever. So Indian Ocean's all I got. Or, I'm sorry.
Half my
No,
nation
Indian
was
Ocean doesn't work. I need East Indies, not Indian Ocean.
It was yoinked from me.
None of these work for me. That one would work, but I'm exhausted.
4 provinces were stolen from me.
Just looking at the secondaries.
Oh, another one by Denmark. I mean Scotland.
Right, I'm just gonna discard them and take 2 ducats.
Okay.
Okay, Austria's turn. They are at war, so they're sieging, and they just took this vassal. Poland has an invader, so they're going to do this. They're going to spend 2 cubes to recruit.
I'm willing to just absolutely bankrupt this nation if I can colonize. That's what I should do, right?
That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And I got a 20 influence, so I get all powers crossed.
Because that's all they can recruit, but that's all they need. They're going to
Yeah.
wipe out the Ottomans.
Wait, don't tell me my ships died. Where'd they go? Where are they? Coming back home.
So this is Poland. They did 2 hits. The Ottomans did 3.
Like a bad one.
Okay. Again. The Ottomans did 4, but so did Poland. And the problem here is
There's a whale.
Poland has so much more. I mean, 4 hits for the Ottomans is a big deal. See, they're already down to 2. Their final 2 do hit. So Poland does take the damage, but the Ottomans are wiped out. That gives Poland another cube. Pass, pass. If you haven't passed, you should be passed.
He's not right.
Pass, pass, pass.
Yeah.
Venice. They're doing a war. They've already conquered their area, so that means they score 3 points. They're down to 1 cube, so they're going to try to pass. And they do. 1 more pass, and we're down to the last action. France should have. Yep, they passed. Castile passed.
There's no names.
It's to me. If I try to eke out one more turn, it would be this. Sure, I'll do it.
Look at West Africa.
I'm going to try to recruit. So what does my event do to me?
Nice.
I have to exhaust 4 manpower.
Everyone's a terrorist. This coin's going over the top of this whole fight.
Oh, let's get those 2 cavalry that I needed. I'll do that. I'm just trying to delay as much as I can because these guys are going to start passing. This one is not. And for whatever stupid reason, they're going to do diplomacy. They do have alliances everywhere. This one is the one they're going to... They're going to roll them in. So here's 2 cubes. Back.
Yeah.
They're basically going to absorb Bavaria. They still have a claim here, but they absorb Bavaria, so that's going to be 3 points for them. Because they annexed. Poland, 1,000,000 cubes. Gotta keep on going.
Oh, hey, Nathan, I see.
They are doing a war action.
Nathan, did you
So
colonize
1,
Ireland?
2, 3. There are currently no armies on the board.
They only have two explorers.
However, yeah, they passed.
They're colonizing Tenerife right
I still think they would recruit. So 1,
now. Coming back.
2, 3, 4, 5,
I'm
6,
slowly
7,
making my
8,
way
9.
back to Texas. I think the next stop is.
And they got a lot of choices. They either go after the Ottomans, but this has a tax base of 5,
Actually, no, I might just colonize Texas.
but they can't reach that.
Do you see my boats, guys?
So that's what makes this interesting. It's not within reach. The only thing within reach is a single tax base. So they would actually go here to fight the Ottomans. Pass, 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 pass.
They're coming back.
Who's left? Poland? Oh no, Venice, 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 Venice. Venice is passing, so that triggers the end.
I'm back.
So after Venice goes, I'm next. Then Austria. So I need Poland to do their event. And they haven't. And I'm out of cubes. Is there any actions I can do that doesn't cost cubes? I don't think there is. And then, like, the administrative actions. There's nothing that just costs 1 cube. Oh, I know what I can do. I'm going to change national focus.
No. Ooh, what
Yeah,
is this?
I'm that serious about delaying this game. So Austria is on their last turn. They are actually passing. So
Oh, really? Like what?
it's just me and Poland. The problem is, well, no, Poland's down to 2 cubes. Except, yeah, they're going to siege.
Yes.
Dang it.
Totally.
It doesn't matter. My delaying this is not helping. Because they're just sieging for their last action.
85 a year.
And they're going to get it, so I'm just going to put these back. So the Ottomans get even weaker. And then, yeah, I'm going to be forced to take an event and then Poland. So my question is do I take mine to avoid Poland?
Drive.
Actually, if Poland takes mine, they're going to choose B. I would rather take this one. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and just take my chances that they're going to roll for this. The treacherous general, I'm going to go with B. I'm going to support a rebellion. I'm going to, as a covert action, I'm going to add 5 rebels and 2 unrest to one area with
Very
opponent
hilarious.
towns.
You can tell how much I'm laughing.
So who am I going to screw over? As much as I don't like France, they're winning.
No one cares about this world.
I'm going here. See, those are cores, but that's not a core. These two are cored, and these two are cored. But see, like, this is not cored. And none of this is cored. I get to do 2 unrest and 5 rebels.
You should ask Trixie
So
what his favorite is.
there's already 1 unrest here. I could do this and make them lose 4 towns. But they're only going to lose 2 of them, because unless they have unrest, they won't lose the others. I could just do this, and I can guarantee they're going to lose Finland. But then the rebels won't go anywhere from there. And I do believe I need to go after them, because if I don't, they seem to be a little out of control at this point. Like, Moscow, they're okay. I mean, Poland is also bonkers, but see, Poland cored this, and everything else. I mean, I guess you could argue that Lithuania is not cored, so I could take, like, these 3 areas and make them lose it.
Why are
And,
you
yeah,
comparing
actually,
me? Half my nation?
maybe I've been doing this wrong,
Take it from me. But
because that should not be a rebel. That's simply they lost the town. And it goes back to Lithuania. That's what that means. So I've been doing a lot of stuff wrong here. The Mamluks are also a little out of control. And, for example, there's no core here. And I could prevent them from inheriting Iraq.
I just boosted my tax income. I'm debbing my tax income from my nation.
They're not winning the game in points, though. Castile is, with Poland being a close second. So Castile and Poland are my 2 threats. So what can I... Castile cored this. This is not core. Their army is here, unfortunately. Nope, their army is not, because it's at full peace. So there you have it. I'm going to flip this. And I'm going to flip that. And I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or however many it was supposed to be.
Colonists first? What did I give you for the second one?
Um,
I thought I flipped those.
yeah, 5. Then we're going to do rebel dice. Okay, 1 for Mamluks. I'm gonna lose a cube. 1, 2 for Venice.
I bought indulgences.
1, 2, 3. There's easily 5. These guys have just been getting so lucky with their rolls.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Like, even again, they just got lucky again. Moscow
As fetishists, you should be able to. You should be able to switch to any religion that's near you.
to get the flip one back.
Yeah, boom.
Poland. And yeah, I've been doing this wrong. Those should be, since they're not chord. Lose a cube. Flip one and unrest. So like that means they just lost a town. Like that should be what's happening. Now they flip one back, which would be this one. Or Austria. 4, 5. Lose a cube and 2 rebellions. Well, one of the rebellions will be here where their army is. The other there. Okay, France. Well, Ottomans are fine. France, 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, what a perfect roll. And then Spain.
I almost have my second column.
Lose a cube. And then there's us. We still have 2. I have to exhaust a manpower. Alright, so my turn's done. And now we just gotta roll for them. So just to keep the suspense up, a 4 or a 2 or a 3. So it's 50-50 now, because I had to go first. Otherwise it was 60. So I need them to roll anything besides a 2, 3, or 4. So a 1, 5, or 6. Ah, you jerk. Alright, they're going to choose B. I lose 2 points and 5 cubes. I must disband 4 units. I don't know what happens if I lose cubes and I can't afford to lose cubes. Or where that is even explained. I'm so upset. I'm pretty sure I have to lose money if I can't lose cubes.
All of it, like even to Texas.
I would swear it was in here under concepts. Here's the thing I was trying to find earlier.
Wait, actually.
Area names are small caps. Realms are always written like this.
No, I can't.
Each player has 30 cubes.
Oh, I can go into Texas.
I know I've found it 100 times. Now I can't remember.
I can spell it Icelandic minority.
I think it was like when you have to lose stability.
I know, right?
If you do not have enough to lose, you must lose a monarch power. If you have no monarch power at all, ignore this penalty. Okay, so that part's good. Yes, the other part was where the rebels were, which I think is, what, 28? 36?
We're
So when you can't pay the cost of a roll, um, if you're unable to pay the monarch power, you have to exhaust 2 dice instead. But that's for rebels. We're talking events now.
Oh, I should do exile colonial companies, shouldn't we?
Gain or place influence. Gain or place towns.
Exile colonial companies. That's the one that we should do for government reforms, right? It's settler chance plus 5%. All right, I gotta kill the people here.
It's not in here.
Attack the natives.
So I think if you can't afford it,
Keep dead.
the PR that gains or loses makes the choice. You must pick the option. If not able to pay for either option, pick either of them. Yeah, so I don't have to pay. Excellent. That's not so bad. I just lost 2 points. I do also lose 4
Wait, this is Texas, not Mexico.
4 of these guys.
Okay, that's the river. Well, the Rio Grande flows into the Gulf.
But we survived it.
Yes,
If the rebels hurt me, they'll hurt me. Before I passed, I was supposed to put this out for 2
Okay, well then this should be.
and this out for 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
It also is colonial Mexico.
Now I'm less than 5. And that brings us to the end. Holy buckets, does this game drag. The pluses do get sick. I gotta decide if I'm gonna keep that leader. I'll decide in a second. I want to see my pluses. I do lose a colonist. Blues and orange spread again.
Austria's allied with Castile.
So blue, for example, is gonna go here.
The Ottomans might be able to become.
Orange.
My settler chance, Nathan, is 41%.
Okay, everybody gets unrest out here. So I get another one. And then the pluses die. That's the part I need to look at. Yeah, I gotta replace Elizabeth because she's gonna die on me. She was the best queen ever.
If I would question if I become the colony, I can see like the attack America.
And yeah, my new advisor gets sick. Jerk. And yeah, I gotta take the crappy
Maybe I should.
new guy.
I'll leave this back up here.
Charles the First. Not nearly as good as Elizabeth. Looks like we're in the 1600s here. Alright, that brings us to the end of the round. I do gotta go. We'll have to do end of round activities later. Thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome.